Welcome to the West Bypass Open House and Public Hearing. We appreciate you taking the time to attend tonight's meeting and hope you have signed in and picked up a handout.
Bienvenida a la reunión y audiencia pública acerca de West Bypass. Apreciamos que usted cogido su tiempo para asistir a la reunión de esta noche y esperamos que usted firmado el registro y tomado un folleto.
Language assistance is available at tonight's meeting. Also, a Spanish language version of the project handout is available.
En la reunión de esta noche hay ayuda para personas que no hablan inglés. También está disponible un folleto del proyecto en versión de lengua español.
Manny Marbet of MMI and Associates is here tonight to assist you.
Tenemos a Manny Marbet de MME y Asociados aquí esta noche para interpretar.
The goals of tonight's slide presentation and hearing are to provide you with a brief overview of the project and descriptions of the proposed alternatives, to answer your questions regarding the project, and to gather your input about the project and proposed alternatives. In the main area, there are large maps that show the alternatives proposed for this project. After this presentation, please proceed to the map area and speak with project team members informally about project details. The open house is scheduled from 4:30 to 6:30. Please take this time to look closely at the project maps and meet one-on-one with project team members. Please feel free to ask questions and discuss project alternatives with the project team members. Note that the last page of your handout is a comment sheet. If you have a concern that you would like to have included in the project decision-making process, please write it on this comment form. You may either leave your questions and comments in the box located in the meeting area or mail it to the address listed in your handout. The formal presentation will start at 7 o'clock. If you decide to attend the public hearing, verbal comments are accepted. The public hearing will be recorded and an official transcript will be created. Please note that written and verbal comments are considered equally by the project team. All comments regarding the project will be accepted until December 15th. This project, commonly referred to as the West Bypass, has been listed by the City of Lexington as the city's highest priority project since 1979. It was placed on the NCDOT State Transportation Improvement Program, or STIP, in 1993. Since then, numerous studies, including feasibility studies, natural environmental surveys, historical and archaeological screenings, and the initial designs have been performed. The first Citizens Informational Workshop was held in 2002, and a second workshop was recently held in March 2008. Many federal laws regulate how a new highway project is accomplished. The department is developing this project under what is called the Merger 01 process, where federal, state, and local agencies identify and agree upon the purpose of and need for the project, what alternatives to study, and decide which alternative will be constructed. Merger is a process to streamline the project development and permitting processes agreed to by NCDOT and the state and federal agencies overseeing the project. The merger team meets at several key points in the design process to discuss and reach a consensus as to how to best proceed to meet regulatory requirements, handle design issues, and consider all resources impacted. Our next meeting will be in early 2009 when we select the LEDPA, the least environmentally damaging preferred alternative. The purpose and needs statement is the foundation upon which justification of the project is established. It is defined early in the project to define specific goals of the project. The purpose and need for TIP project number U2545 was defined as to improve access to medical facilities on South Main Street, Old Salisbury Road for residents on the south side of Lexington, to provide better access to over 400 acres of commercial and industrial development, to provide a vital link in the city of Lexington, to improve safety by providing grade separations allowing closure of Prospect Street by providing an alternate access, to relieve truck traffic associated with NC8 in downtown Lexington, to provide a more direct connection between US 295270 and NC8. As part of this project, we will be closing the Prospect Drive railroad crossing near South Main Street, anticipation of the Southeast High Speed Rail project that would use the Norfolk Southern Railroad corridor. In order for the businesses on Prospect Drive to have access to and from their properties, a service road will be constructed. The service road begins at the intersection of the new route and Henry Link Road and ends at Prospect Drive. The service road would be included in all of the alternates. Due to the improvements required as part of this project on Old Salisbury Road, South Main Street, the existing northern portion of Grimes Boulevard will be closed. Bryan Center Drive will be repaved and cul-de-saced at its current intersection with existing Grimes Boulevard. The Lexington Memorial Hospital's main access will be realigned at the intersection of Bryan Center Drive and South Main Street and will connect to Hospital Drive. The new roadway will have curbs and gutters and will provide 4 traffic lanes, 2 in either direction. The lanes are divided by a 23-foot raised grass median. The inside lanes will be the typical 12 feet in width. However, the outside lanes will be 14 feet wide to accommodate shared bicycle lanes. 5-foot wide sidewalks will be provided on both sides of the road as well. There are 2 proposed alternatives for the alignment of the west bypass. Alternative 1 begins at the US 295270 I-85 Business Interchange and continues on new location to the sharp bend at Albemarle Street. It then follows Albemarle Street to its intersection with Cotton Grove Road, NC8, and continues on to Fairview Drive, SR 2212. Here we are showing the route from the beginning at Old Salisbury Road to just past Albemarle Street. Alternatives 2 and 3 were dropped from further study in 2005 since they both leave the Winston-Salem southbound railway crossing at grade. Alternative 4 begins at the US 295270 I-85 Business Interchange and continues on new location to the sharp bend at Albemarle Street. It follows Albemarle Street to its intersection with Cotton Grove Road, NC8, and continues on to Fairview Drive, SR 2212. The new location section of this alignment is further south of Alternative 1. Here we are showing the route from the beginning of Old Salisbury Road to just past Albemarle Street. The selected road to be widened, Fairview or Cotton Grove, will have 4 lanes, 2 in either direction, separated by a 2-way left turn lane. Similar to the new road, this widened roadway section for Fairview Drive or Cotton Grove Road will have wider outside lanes for shared bicycle lanes, as well as curbs, gutters, and sidewalks on both sides. The road that is not widened will receive minor improvements at the intersections to tie in the new road to the existing road. For each of the proposed alternatives, we have the option of widening either Cotton Grove Road or Fairview Drive. When the widening occurs on Fairview Drive, we have labeled this option A. In this option, Fairview Drive will be widened to a 5-lane road with curb and gutter and sidewalks, and Cotton Grove Road will only receive minor improvements to tie it in with a new route. We have labeled the Cotton Grove Road widening option B. In this case, Cotton Grove Road will be widened to a 5-lane road with curb and gutter and sidewalks. Only minor improvements will occur on Fairview Drive. Due to the 2 widening options on either Fairview Drive and Cotton Grove Road, we have 4 final alternatives to choose from. Alternative 1A, which widens Fairview Drive. Alternative 1B, which widens Cotton Grove Road. Alternative 4A, which is further south than Alternative 1 and widens Fairview Drive. Alternative 4B, which is further south than Alternative 1 and widens Cotton Grove Road. At the conclusion of this presentation, please share your concerns with any of the NCDOT representatives here tonight during the open house. You may choose to speak at the formal public hearing as well. Please fill out the comment sheet in the back of your handout and be sure to select your recommended alternative. All comments, written and oral, will be considered when selecting the preferred alternative. The majority of the project is on a new location. Proposed right-of-way is variable, ranging from 160 to 365 feet in width. The proposed right-of-way along the new location section of the project will be designated partial control of access. Typically, in partial control of access, 1 private driveway connection is allowed for each parcel. The use of shared or consolidated connections is highly encouraged. Connections may be restricted or prohibited if a driveway already exists on a side street. A control of access fence is placed along the entire length of the facility, except at intersections and driveways. The portion of the project near the Norfolk Southern Railroad will be designated control of access, since there will be limited driveway access due to existing terrain. Cotton Grove Road and Fairview Drive will remain non-control of access. The total costs for all of the proposed alternatives do not vary greatly. The most expensive alternative is roughly 10% more expensive than the least expensive alternative. The B alternatives that widen Cotton Grove Road are higher than the A alternatives, which widen Fairview Drive. The alternatives that follow the more southerly route for the new road, alternatives 4A and 4B, are more expensive than their counterparts that take the northern route, alternatives 1A and 1B. When designing a highway project, we must consider the impacts of the project. Some of the impacts to the natural environment that we consider are the impacts to water such as streams, ponds, and wetlands. All of the proposed alternatives impact these resources. Alternatives 1A and 1B each impact 3 wetlands, 2 ponds, and 14 creeks in the project study area. Alternatives 4A and 4B each impact 1 wetland, 1 pond, and 12 creeks in the project area. This table shows the surface area of the wetlands and ponds that are impacted, as well as the length of streams impacted by either filling or by bridging. In addition to surveying the water resources in the project study area, we consider the results of our actions on federally protected plants and animals naturally found in the project area. A biological conclusion of no effect has been determined for the 2 federally protected species for Davidson County, the bald eagle and Schweinitz's sunflower. Each of the proposed alternatives will require the acquisition of right-of-way, and some residential and business relocations are necessary as well. There are 2 more relocations in the B alternatives, which widen Cotton Grove Road, than the A alternatives that widen Fairview Drive. Alternatives 4A and 4B have more relocations than their counterparts, 1A and 1B. As with any federally funded project, we also must consider our impacts to our cultural resources, namely archaeological and historic architecture sites. No archaeological sites or historically or architecturally important sites are located within the project's study area. When a route is selected and approved and the highway design is complete, all affected property owners are contacted by a right-of-way agent who will set a time to meet on an individual basis with the owner. Right-of-way agents are trained to explain plans, advise you how a proposed highway project will affect your property, and inform you of your legal rights. Additional right-of-way and the purchase of homes and businesses will be required along the existing roadway with any of the proposed alternatives. As part of the right-of-way acquisition process, the North Carolina Department of Transportation must treat all property owners and tenants impartially without regard to race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, fully explain an owner's legal rights, pay just compensation in exchange for property rights, furnish relocation advisory assistance in accordance with federal and state regulations, and initiate legal action only if a settlement cannot be reached. If you are a relocatee, that is, if your residence or business is to be acquired as part of the project, additional assistance in the form of advice and compensation is available. This service is available to both owners and tenants. Right-of-way agents are available tonight to answer any questions you may have regarding this process and explain the process in greater detail. Please proceed to the main area and take a look at the alternatives. If you have comments and questions, please speak with a West Bypass Project team member. Thank you for coming. We appreciate your taking the time to attend tonight's meeting. This presentation will restart in 1 minute.